My beloved child. Pause right here. Not later. Not after a scroll. This moment is already moving, and if you rush past it, you will miss what was meant to find you. Listen carefully, because what unfolds next was not designed for everyone. There are moments in life when a single message arrives quietly, yet it carries the weight to rearrange how you see yourself, your future, and the path you thought was closed forever. This is one of those moments. Something huge is waiting for you, and it begins now. You were not drawn here by accident. Out of millions of voices, millions of screens, millions of distractions, this one reached you. And the reason is simple and unsettling at the same time. Someone who reshaped industries, rewrote rules, and challenged the limits of what humanity believes is possible has been watching patterns that most people never notice. Not numbers on a screen. Not trends. Patterns of persistence, failure, silence, and pressure. Patterns that look a lot like your life. Stop for a second. Do not skip. The next words are not motivation. They are recognition. The message did not arrive loudly. It did not demand attention. It arrived with a single idea that cuts deeper than noise. The world does not reward talent first, it rewards those who survive doubt long enough to outgrow it. And this is where your story quietly enters the room. You have felt it, even if you never said it out loud. That sense that you were built for something larger than routine, yet trapped inside repetition. Days where effort felt invisible. Nights where your mind raced with questions no one around you seemed to ask. You wondered if maybe you were too early, or too late, or simply unseen. That feeling was not weakness. It was signal. Here is what most people never hear. The future is not shaped by confidence. It is shaped by those who keep moving while confidence is absent. The message was clear about this. Progress is not loud at the beginning. It is lonely. It is misunderstood. It often looks like failure to people who only recognize success once it is obvious. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, and it is connected to this truth. There was a line in the message that changes everything once you truly hear it. If you are uncomfortable right now, you are not lost, you are early. Let that sink in. Early feels like confusion. Early feels like rejection. Early feels like standing alone while others seem settled. But early is where all transformation begins. You were never meant to follow the same map as everyone else. The frustration you feel is not because you are behind. It is because you are outgrowing an old version of yourself while the world still expects you to stay the same. That tension is not a problem. It is evidence of evolution. Think about how often you doubted yourself because results took longer than promised. Think about how many times you almost stopped because progress was invisible. That was the test no one warned you about. Not a test of skill, but a test of endurance. The message makes this clear: those who quit are not weak, they are simply unaware that the hardest part always appears right before clarity. Do not skip this part. What comes next is what most people never realize. You are not failing because you are incapable. You are struggling because you are attempting something that requires a new identity, not just new effort. Growth demands separation from old habits, from old expectations, sometimes even from people who only knew the previous version of you. That separation hurts, but it creates space. And space is where vision expands. The message was not about money, fame, or status. It was about responsibility. The responsibility of seeing further than comfort. The responsibility of continuing when applause is absent. The responsibility of trusting a process that does not explain itself immediately. If your life feels like it is being dismantled piece by piece, it is not destruction. It is restructuring. You cannot build something new on an old foundation without first clearing what no longer supports the weight of who you are becoming. Do not skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. This is the moment where most people look away because reflection is uncomfortable. But you stayed. And that already says something important about you. The message ends this part with a reminder that feels personal: the future does not announce itself. It whispers. And only those who slow down long enough can hear it. Right now, you are closer than you think. Not to the final result, but to understanding why everything unfolded the way it did. And once you understand that, nothing about your past will feel wasted again. Hold this thought. What comes next will shift how you see every delay, every closed door, and every silent season you endured. Something huge is waiting for you. My beloved child. Freeze the motion right now and listen with intention, because what unfolds next is not meant to be rushed or skimmed. This is the point where meaning sharpens, and clarity begins to surface. The message deepens here, not with spectacle, but with precision. It speaks about leverage, not money, not power, but perspective. The kind of perspective that changes how a single day feels when pressure builds and uncertainty tries to take control. The voice behind the message, Elon Musk, focused on one truth that rarely gets spoken: progress accelerates the moment you stop waiting for permission to believe in your own trajectory. Do not skip. Something huge is waiting for you. The message explains that most people misunderstand momentum. They think it arrives as confidence. It does not. It arrives as discomfort paired with persistence. The uneasy sense that you are carrying more responsibility than before, yet receiving no immediate confirmation. That feeling you have when effort is high but recognition is low, that is momentum forming, quietly, invisibly. This is where many step away. Not because they are incapable, but because they mistake silence for failure. The message corrects this illusion. Silence is often the signal that your work has moved beyond validation and into construction. You are building something that cannot yet be explained in simple terms, and that is why it feels isolating. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. There is a powerful shift here. The message insists that your environment is not meant to fully understand you at this stage. If everyone around you immediately agrees with your vision, then your vision is too small. Real transformation begins when your ideas sound unreasonable to those who measure life by yesterday's limits. Think about how often you questioned your pace. You saw others appear to move faster, settle sooner, speak louder. Yet speed is not direction. Many arrive quickly at places they were never meant to stay. Your path is different because it is designed for durability, not applause. The message then turns inward. It speaks directly to the moments you almost convinced yourself to become less, just to fit more easily. It reminds you that shrinking is never a solution. Adaptation is not abandonment of self. Growth requires expansion, even when space feels tight. Here is the revelation that changes perspective forever: the challenges you face are not obstacles on the path, they are the path. Each delay trained your patience. Each rejection sharpened your discernment. Each quiet season strengthened your internal discipline. Nothing was random. Nothing was wasted. Do not skip this thought. You are not late. You are aligning. And alignment takes time because it demands honesty about what you want, what you will tolerate, and what you will no longer accept as your ceiling. The message makes it clear that the most valuable breakthroughs happen internally before they ever appear externally. There is a reason you feel both tired and restless at the same time. Tired from carrying old expectations. Restless because a new standard is forming within you. That tension is not conflict. It is transition. Something huge is waiting for you, and it is connected to the way you choose to see yourself after this moment. The message closes this section with a line that stays with you: when your vision becomes clearer, distractions lose their power. You stop chasing everything because you finally recognize what is yours to build. From that point forward, focus becomes natural, not forced. You are closer than you realize. Not because everything is solved, but because you no longer need external proof to continue. And once that shift happens, your life begins to respond differently to your presence. Hold steady. What comes next will redefine how you recognize opportunity when it quietly knocks. My beloved child. Hold still for a moment and let the noise fall away, because this is where the message turns sharp and personal, and where many people would normally look away, but you did not. What unfolds now is not about ideas, motivation, or belief. It is about timing. The kind of timing that only makes sense in reverse. The message reveals that the most dangerous lie people accept is this: that clarity must come before action. In reality, clarity is created by action. You move first, and understanding follows. Do not skip. Something huge is waiting for you. You were never meant to feel fully prepared. Preparedness is often just fear wearing a polite mask. The message explains that the people who reshape outcomes are the ones who act while still carrying doubt. Doubt does not disqualify you. Comfort does. Look back at the moments you hesitated, not because you lacked ability, but because you feared choosing the wrong door. What the message makes clear is unsettling but freeing: there is no perfect door. There is only movement. Momentum corrects direction faster than hesitation ever could. This is why your life felt stalled when you waited too long. Not because you were incapable, but because you were trying to eliminate uncertainty instead of learning to operate within it. Progress requires friction. Without it, nothing sharpens. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The message then touches a nerve few talk about. It speaks of identity lag. The space where your internal growth outpaces your external results. That gap is painful. People misread it as failure. In truth, it is proof that your internal standard has already shifted ahead of your circumstances. This is why compliments stopped feeling satisfying. This is why old goals no longer excite you. You are not ungrateful. You are evolving. And evolution always creates a temporary sense of emptiness before direction becomes clear. Here is the revelation that reframes everything: you do not need more confidence. You need more commitment. Confidence is a feeling. Commitment is a decision. Feelings fluctuate. Decisions compound. The message emphasizes that once you commit, reality begins to reorganize itself around your actions. Opportunities do not appear because you wish harder. They appear because your behavior signals readiness. And readiness is visible long before success arrives. You may not realize it yet, but your habits have already started changing. The way you think. The way you react. The way certain conversations no longer interest you. That is alignment taking place quietly. No announcement. No celebration. Just a steady shift. Do not skip this. The message highlights a truth that alters how you view pressure. Pressure is not punishment. It is preparation. The weight you feel is proportional to the capacity being built within you. Nothing heavier is placed on someone who cannot carry it. If your days feel intense, if your mind feels stretched, it is because you are being trained for a broader role. Growth demands expansion, and expansion always feels uncomfortable before it feels powerful. Something huge is waiting for you, and it is connected to a choice you are closer to making than you realize. The message closes this section with a quiet but undeniable statement: the future version of you is already depending on the decisions you make when no one is watching. Not later. Not someday. Now. You are not standing at the end of a road. You are standing at the point where movement becomes irreversible. Once you see this, you cannot unsee it. And from here forward, your life will respond differently to your presence. Remain attentive. What comes next will change how you recognize your own potential when it finally speaks back to you. My beloved child. Stand firm right here and do not let this moment slip past you, because what unfolds now is the turning point where everything you have heard begins to lock into place. This is where the message reaches its highest intensity. Not louder, not dramatic, but unmistakably clear. It speaks about impact. Not the kind measured by attention, but the kind measured by transmission. The message makes one thing undeniable: knowledge that stays trapped dies quietly, but knowledge that is passed forward multiplies. Do not skip. Something huge is waiting for you. You were not given this clarity just for yourself. That is the part most people misunderstand. Insight is never delivered in isolation. It is delivered to travelers who are meant to leave markers behind for others who are still walking in confusion. When something resonates deeply within you, it is because it carries value beyond you. The message explains that the future belongs to those who participate, not those who observe silently. Participation does not always mean speaking louder. Sometimes it means letting your presence be known, letting your understanding leave a trace, letting others recognize that they are not alone in what they feel. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. There is a subtle but powerful instruction hidden here. When alignment finds you, you anchor it by engaging with it. You acknowledge it. You interact with it. You allow it to become part of your identity rather than a passing moment. That interaction strengthens memory, deepens belief, and sharpens direction. This is why moments like this matter. They are not entertainment. They are checkpoints. And at checkpoints, you decide whether you move forward as a passive observer or as an active participant in your own evolution. The message then delivers a once-in-a-lifetime realization: the people who change outcomes are rarely the most talented in the room. They are the ones who remain connected to the source of their vision long enough for it to mature. Connection sustains momentum. Isolation weakens it. If something inside you is nodding right now, it is because this message is confirming what you already sensed but never articulated. You are meant to stay connected to ideas that stretch you, not retreat back into comfort once the moment passes. Do not skip this. There is power in letting your acknowledgement be visible. There is strength in leaving a signal that says, "I was here, this mattered to me, and I am moving forward differently." That signal reinforces commitment, both to yourself and to others who recognize it. Something huge is waiting for you, and it is linked to continuity. Not stopping when clarity arrives. Not drifting away when understanding deepens. Staying aligned long enough for transformation to become permanent. The message closes with a statement that echoes quietly but persistently. The future is shaped by those who stay present after the message ends. Not those who consume and disappear, but those who remain engaged, attentive, and connected to what awakened them. This is not the end. This is the moment you decide whether what you felt here becomes a memory or a direction. And that decision, once made, begins to change how life responds to you. Hold this awareness. What follows will confirm that this encounter was not temporary, and that your next steps are already forming with precision. My beloved child. Lean in closer and hold your attention steady, because this is where everything you sensed but could not name finally reveals its shape. The message reaches its final depth here, not by adding noise, but by stripping away illusion. It speaks about inevitability. Not fate, not luck, but the quiet inevitability that forms when intention, discipline, and patience intersect. The truth is unsettling and empowering at the same time. Once alignment is real, outcomes stop being optional. Do not skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. You may have believed that your future depended on a single breakthrough moment. The message dissolves that belief. Breakthroughs are not moments. They are accumulations. They are built silently through choices that feel small, unseen, and unrewarded at first. But once the threshold is crossed, everything accelerates at once. This explains why your progress felt uneven. Long stretches of stillness followed by sudden clarity. It was not inconsistency. It was compression. Pressure building behind the scenes, preparing release. When growth compresses, it feels heavy. When it releases, it feels miraculous. There is a powerful realization here that most people never reach: your patience has already paid a price. That price was paid in waiting, in restraint, in not reacting when it would have been easier to quit or settle. And because that price was paid, the return cannot be denied. The message makes something very clear now. The version of you listening at this moment is not the same one who began this journey. Your standards have changed. Your tolerance has shifted. What you accept from yourself and from life is no longer negotiable. That shift is irreversible. Do not skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. You are not chasing a new life. You are stepping into one that has been quietly assembling around your persistence. This is why certain doors are opening naturally. This is why resistance is dissolving where it once dominated. Alignment removes friction without force. The message closes with a statement that settles deeply. Once you see yourself clearly, the world has no choice but to respond accordingly. Not immediately. Not dramatically. But consistently. Reality adjusts to conviction. If you feel a calm certainty right now, that is not excitement. That is recognition. You are recognizing yourself. And from this point forward, decisions will feel different, obstacles will feel smaller, and direction will feel sharper. This is not an ending. This is stabilization. The moment where everything you learned stops feeling theoretical and starts feeling lived. What was once distant is now inevitable. Hold this knowing. Carry it quietly. Let it guide how you move when no one is watching. Because what has been set in motion does not need permission anymore. And from here, your life begins to answer you back. My beloved child. Slow your breath and anchor your attention right here, because this is where the meaning settles and the message becomes personal in a way that cannot be reversed. What unfolds now is about ownership. Not ownership of things, but ownership of direction. The message draws a clear line that most people never cross. The moment you stop asking whether you are allowed to want more, life begins to test whether you are ready to carry more. Do not skip. Something huge is waiting for you. You were never lacking ability. You were lacking permission, from yourself. The message reveals that the greatest ceilings are self-installed, reinforced by repetition and doubt rather than reality. Once you see that, hesitation loses its authority. Think carefully about this. Every time you chose patience over reaction, you were training stability. Every time you chose silence over noise, you were sharpening focus. Every time you chose to continue without applause, you were proving commitment. None of that disappears. It compounds. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The message exposes a truth that reframes struggle completely. Effort without clarity feels exhausting, but effort with alignment feels inevitable. That shift is happening now. You can feel it in the way resistance no longer scares you. In the way challenges feel like tasks rather than threats. That is not coincidence. That is readiness. There is a quiet confidence forming, not loud enough to announce itself, but strong enough to carry weight. This is the confidence that does not seek validation because it is built on evidence, your own consistency, your own endurance, your own growth. You are no longer searching for signs. You are becoming one. The message closes this section by making something unmistakable. The future you want is not asking you to rush. It is asking you to be precise. Precision in choices. Precision in focus. Precision in who you allow to influence your thinking. When precision enters, chaos exits. If you feel steady right now, that is not the absence of fear. It is the presence of trust, in your ability to adapt, respond, and continue. That trust is earned, not given. And you earned it. This moment is not dramatic. It is decisive. The kind of decision that happens internally, quietly, and then reshapes everything that follows. Remain present. What you carry from here will influence every step you take next, and the path ahead will begin to recognize you as someone who knows where they are going. My beloved child. Stop right here and let this land, because this is the point where the message stops explaining and starts activating something inside you. What comes now is not comfort. It is confirmation. The message turns toward consequence. The quiet consequence of all the choices you made when no one was watching, when it would have been easier to drift, easier to doubt, easier to wait for someone else to decide for you. Those moments mattered more than you realized. Do not skip. Something huge is waiting for you. Here is the once-in-a-lifetime realization hidden in the message: your future is not delayed, it is synchronized. Every pause, every reroute, every silence was aligning variables you could not see at the time. You were being positioned, not postponed. And positioning always feels slow until alignment snaps into place. This is why certain things never worked no matter how hard you tried. It was not rejection. It was protection from paths that could not hold the weight of who you are becoming. The message makes this unmistakably clear: not every opportunity is meant to accept you, and not every door is meant to open. Some are meant to reveal direction by staying closed. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. You may notice now that your patience feels different. It no longer feels like waiting. It feels like readiness. That shift changes everything. When readiness arrives, you stop forcing outcomes and start attracting alignment. Effort becomes cleaner. Decisions become sharper. Doubt loses its grip. The message highlights something subtle but powerful: the moment you stop trying to prove yourself, your energy becomes undeniable. You no longer move from insecurity, but from clarity. And clarity does not need approval to operate. Think about how your standards have quietly risen. What once distracted you now feels irrelevant. What once drained you now feels unacceptable. This is not arrogance. This is refinement. You are narrowing your focus to what actually matters. There is a calm strength forming here. Not excitement. Not urgency. A calm strength that says, I know what I am building, even if I cannot explain it yet. That strength is rare. And the message affirms that rarity is not accidental. Do not skip this final thought. The message closes with a truth that settles deeply: when your inner direction is stable, external chaos loses influence. You stop reacting. You start choosing. And once you start choosing consistently, life responds consistently. If you feel grounded right now, that is not coincidence. That is alignment locking in. From this point forward, you will notice that your presence alone changes the tone of rooms, conversations, and outcomes. Not because you demand attention, but because you carry certainty. Hold on to this. Not tightly, not fearfully, steadily. Because what has aligned within you does not fade. It expands. And everything ahead will begin to recognize you as someone who has already decided. My beloved child. Do not move past this moment, hold your focus right here. Because this is where the message sharpens into a signal meant only for those who stayed. What unfolds now is about trajectory. Not where you are, but where your momentum is pointing. The message reveals a truth that reframes everything you thought you knew about progress: outcomes are lagging indicators. Direction is the real decision. Once direction is chosen, results are only a matter of time. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. You may have measured your life by milestones you could count. The message dismantles that habit. Real progress often looks invisible because it is internal first. You changed how you think before your world changed how it responds. You strengthened your discipline before opportunity recognized you. You refined your standards before doors adjusted to fit you. This is why impatience visited you. Impatience arrives when the inner shift is complete but the outer shift has not yet caught up. That gap is uncomfortable, but it is temporary. The message calls this the convergence window, the moment when preparation and timing finally overlap. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Here is the once-in-a-lifetime realization embedded in the message: you are no longer practicing for a future role, you are rehearsing consistency for a present one. That subtle difference changes how you show up. You no longer wait for certainty. You act from alignment. Notice how your choices feel cleaner now. Less noise. Less second-guessing. Fewer detours. This is not because options disappeared. It is because clarity narrowed your field. Focus is not limitation, it is acceleration. The message speaks plainly here: when your inner compass is calibrated, speed becomes natural. You stop forcing motion. You move because stillness feels dishonest. Momentum builds because direction is settled. There is another layer that matters. Influence. Not attention, not recognition, impact. The message states that impact grows when your actions become predictable to your values and surprising to your limits. People begin to feel your steadiness before they understand your strategy. This is why conversations are changing around you. Why certain doors feel lighter to open. Why resistance feels less personal. You are no longer negotiating with doubt. You are operating from decision. Don't skip this thought. The message concludes this section with a quiet but commanding truth: when your future self becomes clear, your present self becomes disciplined. Discipline is not restriction. It is respect for where you are headed. If you feel an unshakable calm right now, that is alignment speaking. It does not shout. It does not rush. It simply moves forward and expects reality to follow. Hold this center. What comes next will confirm that your path is not only chosen. It is underway. And from here, every step compounds in your favor. My beloved child, stay exactly where you are and let the silence work for you, because this is where the message becomes undeniable and the meaning completes its circuit. What unfolds now is about inevitability turning into motion. The message reveals something most people never hear at the right time. When preparation has matured, hesitation becomes the only remaining obstacle. And hesitation dissolves the moment you recognize who you have already become. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. You may have thought transformation would arrive as excitement. It does not. It arrives as certainty. A calm, grounded certainty that no longer asks for reassurance. This is why you feel different now. Not louder. Not faster. Just clearer. Clarity is the signal that the internal work is complete. The message explains that the final stage before visible change is internal quiet. Noise fades. Comparison loses relevance. You stop narrating your journey to others and start executing it for yourself. That shift marks readiness. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. There is a powerful realization here that reframes everything you endured. The waiting was not delay. It was filtration. Everything that could not keep pace with your future gradually fell away. Old fears. Old doubts. Old distractions. What remains now is focus, sharpened by time. You are no longer asking whether you can do this. You are asking how precisely you will do it. That is the difference between dreaming and building. Builders do not need permission. They need alignment. And alignment has already arrived. The message speaks directly to this moment. When intention becomes consistent, reality rearranges itself quietly. You will notice opportunities appearing without force. Conversations aligning without effort. Resistance softening where it once blocked you. This is not coincidence. This is response. Your presence has changed. You carry less urgency and more authority. Less explanation and more direction. People will feel that shift even before they understand it. That is influence born from clarity. Do not skip this final realization. The message closes with a truth that settles deeply and stays. When you stop searching for confirmation, confirmation begins to find you. The world responds not to what you say you want, but to what you consistently move toward. If you feel steady right now, let that steadiness guide you. This is not the end of a message. It is the beginning of execution. What you do next does not need to be announced. It only needs to be done. From here forward, your life no longer waits for a signal. It moves because the signal is already within you.